Hi everyone, welcome to another Headphone.ph review. Today we have the NightOwl from Audioquest, which is a sealed headphone. This is the sealed version of the Nighthawk headphone that I reviewed, I think 4 years ago. It's an expensive headphone. It retails for 39,500 pesos, which is around $800 if my conversion is correct. If you view the page, it is clearly being marketed for audiophiles. It promises fatigue-free listening that is detailed and good. So we will find out if this headphone is delivering what it promises to be. The packaging of the headphone is pretty straightforward. It's one of their mantras is they are environment friendly, and I can attest to that. The package is just the actual case with a small thin piece of cardboard wrapped around it. It's unlike many headphone packaging which is a ton of cardboard box, some plastics here and there, whereas with Audioquest products, it comes with actual packaging is the transportation case or the storage case, which is a nice touch from them. Inside it has a lot of accessories. It comes with a couple of cloth. One is a cloth for the cable, and the other is a drawstring bag for the headphone in case you don't want to use the big storage case for transporting it. Although that is it has handles, so that is perfect for that purpose as well. It also comes with a couple of microfiber cleaning cloth. So one is for, again, the plugs. It's the silver one, and the black one is for the headphone, which is pretty interesting. I did read that it also comes with an extra pads. I think it's a velour pad. Mine doesn't come with it, so that's something that you have to check with the dealer if that's or the store if that's something that they include in the headphone. The build of the headphone is pretty good, pretty interesting as well. It's made of what they call as liquid wood, which is some kind of it's an actual wood, but it's injected with some toxin-free materials. You can read more about it on the text review of this headphone. A lot of the materials here have focus on like light and comfort for this headphone. So as you can see, it uses this suspension system which a lot of headphones have used in the past. The headband is the single piece of I think it's a stainless steel covered in cloth, which is very sturdy and flexible as well. You can do it like this. The headphone itself has this ring kind of mold here that allows you to swivel the headphone in many directions. So as a result, even though you're not really adjusting anything, it doesn't have any clicks or anything like that. The headphone is flexible in that you can pretty much adjust it or contour it to the shape of your head. This one is made of leather. It's very comfortable. The ear pads are protein leather. It's also quite thick, and it's actually very plush. The cups have it doesn't have a shallow it's not shallow in terms of the ear pads. So when you wear it, it's not at least in my experience, it's really not touching my ears are not touching the actual baffle plate. Comfort-wise, it's a very comfortable headphone. It's light, and I can wear it for hours without really having any discomfort. This one doesn't provide any, I do not feel any hot spot in here. The clamp is not tight, and the only complaint that I have is actually the cable, which is kind of thick. I understand this is a high quality cable, but this is just a very thick cable that is hard to use for any applications. I would have loved to see, because this headphone is like a sealed headphone and a kind of portable headphone almost. They should have included an additional case that is thinner, or this one should have been like a little thinner than what it is. It also comes with this nice 1/4-inch adapter, which is of a good quality compared to like most 1/4-inch adapter that comes with most headphones. It also comes with a 1-button remote here that you can use to answer calls, play pause music, and things like that. Comfort-wise, as I mentioned, it's a very comfortable headphone because of the combination of good materials and just the lightweight nature of it. This type of suspension fit or mechanism is not really new. AKG, Audio-Technica used to do it with, used to do it like many years ago. But the problem is, I don't really find those to be as comfortable as this. This one, I feel like it's very it doesn't create any hot spot at the top of my head or the sides of my head. And add that to the fact that the headphone it's pretty light. It's a nice experience that you can literally forget wearing this headphone after some time. In terms of noise isolation, it's just average. I find that most high-end sealed headphones don't really have good passive noise isolation, and I think it's because they're expensive. They're trying to really mimic the openness of like traditional open back headphones, and as a result, it's something that they intentionally sacrifice in order to get that spacious sound. The headphone is a very warm sounding headphone that is dark and has plenty of that tilt towards the bass and lower mid-range area, and to me it's so warm that I prefer calling it veil. It's as if you place a thin piece of fabric on top of the music. But the thing is, it's not. It varies based on the audio tracks that you're listening to. So for me, I listen to a lot of jazz and classical music, and for that, the warmth adds to the soul of the music, and I don't mind because classical and jazz music, they don't have a lot of things going on. But if you listen to a lot of house music or electronic or modern pop, then that's, at least for me, that's when it becomes not as bearable. So I listen to Daft Punk's Get Lucky, and my initial impression is that it's as if you're listening to a music reproduced inside a tunnel because it's just so warm and tilted towards that. Into the actual frequency ranges, I find the bass to be of good quality. I like the texture of the bass. It doesn't extend super low into the sub bass, but the texture is something that I like. The presentation is kind of soft, but it's done so in a very pleasant manner. The mid-range for me is where it really shines. The mid-range is lush and I would say it's liquid even. It's just very good sounding, very good for vocals. The treble is interesting in that it's lower in level, recessed, but it has plenty of sparkle, and it's smooth sounding. It's not overly smooth out, but it's just clean sounding. There is a tizziness in it, I think the timbre towards the upper frequency is a little tizzy. It's not metallic sounding like some of the biodynamic headphones. It can be thin sounding at times depending on the track, but it's a good treble for the actual presentation that the headphone is aiming for. Soundstage is more spacious than some of the sealed headphones that I have here, namely the Focal Spirit Classic, the Odyssey Sign, and the Audio-Technica M50X. I feel like the Soundstage it got worse with the tuning. It feels a little congested. Say for imaging is the headphone is a very clean sounding headphone, but because of the dark warm tilt, it makes the stage and separation smaller than what I feel it is. Thankfully, the headphone is as I said, it's a clean sounding headphone, and there are measurements that say it has very low distortion, so it's very EQable. So I did equalize it, and what I've done is I just lowered down from 800 hertz, like below. I lowered it down by 4 decibels. I increased the I think it's 7,000 hertz to 2 decibels. It's in the text article, but what it does is it made it like more neutral. It's not like it didn't lose its like mid-range lush, but it made it less woolly sounding or less veiled sounding, which I think is perfect for more genres. Now I know it's equalizing is not something that people would actually like to do, and I'm not here to tell you that you should do it. I just shared you that I equalized it, and I think it's something that some of you or some people will find more flexible for most genres. The headphone is fairly efficient. I did use it most of the time with the Dragonfly Cobalt, which will be reviewed soon as well, and it's a very efficient headphone that I didn't get past, like in my laptop I didn't have to go past 15, volume level 15 for a reasonable listening experience or session, and I didn't really see it benefit that much from using like higher or more or a desktop amplifier. The sound quality is very similar if you're just using it straight from your laptop. So do I recommend this headphone? I think the first question is, how warm can you go? So how much warmth can you tolerate in a headphone audio reproduction? I think that's something that differs from person to person. But also, this isn't the headphone that you're going to be purchasing if you're upgrading. So I'm not going to base the review on the actual price performance ratio or like value. Instead, I think if you're the type that have 4 to 5 headphones and you're looking for something that's a little different in terms of how it sounds and even how it looks, then I think the Audioquest NightOwl is a good buy, even for 39,500 pesos. If you have the cash and you don't have problems splurging that cash. However, it's not a good purchase for budding audiophiles. So, and interestingly, I think it's not something that needs to be stated explicitly. Obviously, if you're using some of the sub $100 headphone or even a $200 headphones and you want to move up, you're definitely not going to be looking at this headphone. It's more of a side grade than anything. It's warm, it's clean sounding, but it's not the typical audiophile sound that you are probably looking for when you're upgrading. So in the end, I actually quite like this headphone on some tracks, but not on most tracks that I'm listening to. Now, because I like to EQ headphones, I find the equalization profile that I shared to make this headphone more bearable and really make it shine more without losing the positive properties of its sound. So that's it for the Audioquest NightOwl sealed headphone. I would love to hear your thoughts about this one. I reviewed the Nighthawk many years ago and I surely got a lot of negative comments with it. As I said, this is a very divisive headphone. Some people who like it really like it and hate when others think the headphone sucks, and some others just don't think it's a good buy. It's an expensive headphone at $800. But if you have the money and you already have neutral sounding headphones and you want to add something different to your collection, then yeah, go ahead and check it out. If you can audition it, then that's even better. I would suggest you audition it, listen to like your 8 to 10 songs that you frequently listen to, and you can immediately decide from there if the headphone is too warm. Thumbs up the video if you like it, subscribe for more headphone.ph video review, and visit headphone.ph for the text version of this review.